Everyone has been in quite an uproar over the fact that the World Health Organization on Saturday adopted the latest update to its International Classification of Diseases, or the ICD as I will refer to in this video, which adds gaming disorder to its list of modern diseases. The organization had last June added gaming addiction under its section of potentially harmful technology-related behaviors, including too much use of the internet, computers, smartphones, things like that, which isn't too surprising. With the advance in technology and the everyday usage of technology, of course things like this need to be researched and need to be followed very closely because it can affect people's mental health and whatnot, and so many people use the internet and computers, smartphones, and things along those lines in their everyday. Of course they're going to do more research on things along those lines. But what a lot of people do not realize is that this does not affect us in North America, and in just a moment I will get into why, in case you do not know. But I am not saying that gaming disorder and addiction from gaming is not real. Anyone can experience addiction, and addiction is a very powerful thing. It is not something to be taken lightly, and it especially is easy to experience addiction when it comes to things that you enjoy, such as activities like gaming and video gaming and other technology. We see them as such enjoyable things, and it is very easy to become attached to them without realizing how unhealthy it can be for us. So I am not talking about the fact that I think that it is fake or I think that it is unrealistic and that people do not really suffer from it. I am not saying that. I am just saying in North America, these new changes do not affect us. So according to the ICD, gaming disorder lives under the disorders due to addictive behavior section of the ICD. It is described as a pattern of persistent or recurrent gaming behaviors, which may be online or offline, manifested by impairing control over gaming, increasing priority to gaming to an extent that gaming takes precedence over other life interests and daily activities, and continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. In the United States of America, when you are being diagnosed by a medical professional, you are not being diagnosed by the ICD-11. That is not what physicians use. In the United States, they do not go by it. The United States goes by the DSM, or the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, and the newest edition is edition 5, and it is published by the American Psychiatric Association, which is the largest psychiatric organization in the world. Just thought I'd throw that out there. The ICD, or the International Classification of Diseases, is published by the World Health Organization, and it is on its 11th edition, and the ICD is more widely used in Europe. So come January 1st, 2022, when all of this comes into effect, there's not going to be any rehab centers for gaming around the United States, so the people that are saying things like that need to calm down just a little bit. Don't get so defensive when there's nothing to be defensive over. But because one organization is fully recognizing it, it is likely that the others will start more studies and continue their efforts to figuring out more information on this gaming disorder trend. But the DSM currently says that internet gaming disorder is a condition for further study, and that the internet gaming disorder is most common in male adolescents 12 to 20 years of age. According to the studies, though, it is thought that internet gaming disorder is more prevalent in Asian countries rather than in North America and Europe, which is probably why the ICD recognized it before the United States, even if we recognize it in the near future. And just to put more information out there, the American Psychiatric Association has been researching gaming addiction since 2007. And still, they have not specified gaming disorder as a standalone disorder. Now, neither of these manuals are perfect, and the systems can both take bits and pieces from each other. I, of course, have not fully studied both of them, but there is obvious differences between the two that we're talking about, at least, and I personally would put my trust in the DSM-5. The DSM-5 has a lot more specific research in a lot of different places, and technology is one of them that the DSM-5 does specify a lot more on. So I'm not saying that there's one that's right and there's one that's wrong, but I personally would put my trust in the DSM-5. And honestly, even though there's not going to be rehab centers opening across the United States, and it's not like you're going to be disabled come 3 years because a family member thinks that you game too much, I'm still worried about the future of gaming, but in a different way than some people, I suppose. Some people have really acted like it is a joke and that they'll find it hilarious when rehab centers for gaming open up. But I am not worried about that. I'm thinking more along the lines of what companies that are based around gaming are going to do about this. I talked in my last video about Sony, but Sony's CEO said that they wanted to take countermeasures to help fight gaming addiction, yet he did not say how they were going to do that, and that is really what worries me. Does it worry you at all? What are these big tech companies going to do to counteract these behaviors? This is a prime excuse for them to start implementing more censorship into games, and also more ways for them to say gaming is bad, gaming is negative, gaming attracts negative effects, it isn't positive. And this really isn't something to laugh about. This is going to be blown out of proportion by these companies. I feel like everyone is treating this as a joke, as if gaming addiction is a joke, and like I said at the beginning, it is not. Anyone can experience addiction. Addiction is a very powerful and very destructive thing. But it's the fact that you really should be taking this a little bit more seriously. Even the fact that now that one organization has fully recognized it, and a large organization, a lot of these companies are going to start implementing a lot more censorship. But that is all that I wanted to talk about today, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either which way, but I hope that you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys again really soon.